So, hi everyone. My name is Micha Rushiel S. Manjares. I'm 20 years old. I was born and raised in Dubai, and I am the Magna Cum Laude of class 2020.
Hey everyone, I'm Jirah Aguilo. I'm from Las Piñas City and I'm the Summa Cum Laude of class 2020. So if I were to describe Micah in 2 words, that would be first, accommodating, and second, friendly. So with accommodating, she's able to connect with people well. So she accommodates all their personal and academic concerns. And yeah, she's very friendly in a way that she can make friends easily and she's like friends with everyone. Just put her in a room and she'll be able to connect with people easily.
So, if I were to describe Jirah Aguilo, the first word would be geeky. I think it's a very well-known fact. I know she's a fan of Star Wars, and whenever I hear her talk about other geeky stuff, other geeky-related topics, it actually amazes me because it's different from how she looks like, right? But I guess it's really interesting to know that she has this side of her. It's really different. And I guess the other word I would use to describe her is passionate, because we were classmates for 2 years. We only got closer during our final year, but then in that short amount of time, I can see how passionate Jirah is with the things she loves doing, like photography, editing. She's really good in making formats. So yeah, I really admire those two characteristics of Jirah. When I was a kid, I originally wanted to be a pharmacist. But then when I was grade 8, that was when I realized that I was into business. Hence the degree I took up, business administration. So I guess right now that I've graduated and all, a field of work I want to be in is somewhere along the line of the HR department, because I'm very people oriented. So I guess that's the field of career or choice of career that I want to pursue.
This one is a surprising revelation since most people think that I have big dreams, but ever since I was a child, I didn't really have a dream. I didn't know what I wanted to be. But back then, I enjoyed reading books and writing. So as a kid, what I only have was like dreams of the things I want to do, but not really my career. So I knew that I wanted to write, I wanted to travel and see a lot of places. I knew I wanted to pursue photography because I enjoy taking pictures, but then I didn't really know what career I wanted. So I grew up not knowing that, and I didn't even know how I ended up in business. So now that I graduated, I think I still have the same desires, but then this time I wanted it to be more meaningful. If you've heard my speech, I wanted to look for something with a deep purpose. So I think right now I'm planning to pursue something that's more on the religious or non-profit area. First, I really spent a lot of time with Sir Denver, the Radar. He was my teacher since grade 12. So that explains our closeness. He was my mentor in a lot of ways, not just in the subjects that he's teaching, but more on research. Like up to now, we are communicating because I'm doing some researches right now. So up to now, I'm still consulting with him. I'm still talking with him. And he's also my mentor in my personal life. Like I open up a lot to him about personal things, and he's able to provide. The thing about Sir Denver is that he's very objective about things, and he thinks rationally. He's able to provide rational advice. So he's my mentor more on the academic side, but also like he's like a friend. But I also have to give credit to Miss Mary because she's been my teacher since grade 11. So we were together for 4 years, and she knew a lot about me. I think she figured me out even before I figured myself out. So yeah, she was able to help in a lot of ways. And actually, it was in her class that I discovered that I have a passion for church, for my religion. So that was the time that I felt like I wanted to pursue something in line with this. She opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, not just about myself, but also concerning my relationships with other people.
For me, over the course of 3 years, there are two people who I consider as my mentors. The first one has to be Miss Lineses. She taught me in first year with the subject Human Resource Management, and also in second year with Organizational Behavior. So I guess the reason why I really consider her as my mentor, because I really enjoyed her subjects, because her subjects were something close to my heart. And it was very relatable. I guess because I was a student leader as well when I was still her student. So I was able to reflect on myself and determine whether I was applying those leadership qualities in student orgs, even though I'm not yet in the workplace yet. The second mentor, without a doubt, has to be Sir Ernst. So it's like a parent who took care of me the very beginning when I was first year up till now. Even till now, we have communication. And he was more on the leadership side. So it was the same with Miss Lineses. Miss Lineses is like the theory-based kind of knowledge that I gained from her, while Sir Ernst is more of like the application of those leadership qualities and skills. Sir Ernst is one of the people, apart from my closest friends and family, who has seen me cry, and he listened to all of my rants and he gave me advice or even said the words that I needed to hear at those very times. I'm very thankful for the both of them. So they're both the mentors I consider that I found and gained while studying in SISFU. Did senior high in Dubai, then I moved to the Philippines and then in SISFU. But I guess what I would like to say is you could have slept more. When I was first year, everything was so new to me because of course I'm starting college, and then I used to think my papers or assessments before they were difficult. So I guess if I had the chance, I would tell myself when I was first year is you could have slept more.
If I were to talk to my grade 11 self, I would tell her that everything's going to work out fine, because during the 2 years of my senior high, honestly, that was one of the toughest phases of my life. I had several family problems, and mostly family problems, and back then I didn't really know where to study for college and how to study for college since we were struggling financially. But now, well, here I am. So I would tell her to just hang on, because eventually everything will turn out well, even better than what I expected. So I actually didn't regret anything, but I think one thing is that I wish I socialized more because like what Micah said earlier, I only came close with them during our last year, and sadly things ended this way because of the pandemic, so I wasn't really able to spend a lot of time with them. So I wish that I socialized more, because I was really very introverted. But now looking back, now that we're several months in this quarantine, I wish that I could have spent more time with them.
I don't really regret any. I really enjoyed my 3 years in SISFU. One thing I regret is that I should have managed my time better, especially during third year. Because for some reason, I don't know why, that was the year when I was struggling with procrastination. When I had a dissertation to do, I had other academic deadlines to meet, and I had an org to lead. So I guess there was a few times during my third year where I was overwhelmed with everything on my plate. But then I guess if I managed my time better, especially during third year, I wouldn't have struggled with such phases in my life. But here I am, and I graduated and I made it. So for me, ever since I was first year college, graduation for my bachelor's degree was actually one of the days I looked forward to ever since the very beginning. It's like the finish line. It's like okay, you're officially done. You graduated, on to the next chapter. And it's true that I was sad about us not having face-to-face graduation because I was looking forward to it. But I guess the process and being the first batch to have an online graduation, I learned how to be thankful, especially during this pandemic. Firstly, I'm just so thankful that everyone was able to celebrate in the safe and the comfort of their own homes. And I'm also most thankful to the management, to the SISFU management, to the employees, to the staff, to all the people who worked hard behind the scenes to provide us the best virtual graduation they could possibly ever give. There's so many self-realizations I had during this pandemic and the process of waiting for our graduation, but most of all, I'm thankful that everyone's safe and healthy.
The online graduation, I think, actually taught me two things. First, it made me realize that despite everything, I'm so privileged to have graduated college, to have received such quality education. So a lot of people right now are struggling with their education, like how to shift to online, and made me realize that I'm really, really privileged to have finished my degree, even if it has to end this way. I'm very grateful. And second, it taught me that time is just an illusion. Felt like time is just an illusion because I used to think of graduation as the major transition to another chapter of my life. Everything changes. I officially feel like an adult. But then, now that I had to graduate online, it felt like time was just an illusion. I could have achieved the new chapter of my life earlier, which I did because of the pandemic. So I think that future doesn't really matter. Live for what's happening right now. Live for the present. And if it's given to you, then just be grateful, or at least acknowledge the privilege that you have. Sisig.
Creamy salmon or anything with salmon. I hope I don't offend anyone, but ampalaya.
I don't like dried fish. Okay, I'll go first. Naruto.
I grew up watching K-dramas. So I will name a K-drama that I like while you were sleeping. Watch it, guys.
Oy, yes.
I have a lot of celebrity crushes, but my favorite one out of all is Chris Evans.
Naruto, of course. Second, Percy Jackson.
One of the pet peeves I know Jirah has is when people cut in line, because I think I've seen her make a face when there's this person that cut in line. We were in SNX.
From my observation, she got pretty annoyed when someone went toot, touched her nose. For me, I think I'd want Natalie Portman to portray me.
I'm actually a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence and her works.
I always envision myself like a Ghibli heroine.
It'll be a mixture of rom-com and drama. An advice I would like to give to the next graduating batch and the following batches is to manage your time more wisely and efficiently, because compared to before, you now have control over your time compared to when you were still attend physical classes. Everyone is in the comfort and safety of their own homes. And I know that a lot of the current graduating batch actually took up leadership roles. So there's now an addition to your plate, to your responsibilities. But then it may seem overwhelming and impossible to manage your time at first, but then it's actually possible. You just have to make sure that you allocate your time wisely and efficiently. You know your priorities. And I guess another thing I would like to add is to continually remain focused and persevere until the very end. Because it's inevitable that along the path that you have chosen, you will finish line or the goal that you were trying to achieve. And as long as you remain focused and you persevere until the very end, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that you have reached.
I think I've already imparted some advice during my speech, so I would like to reiterate that. Just as what I've said in the concluding part, instead of aiming high, we should aim deep. Because we're all taught to aim high, to be rich, to be powerful, to be acknowledged by everyone. I think most of our dreams are like that. We want to be a well-known, let's say, managers or an effective leader. So we all have this concept of success, that it's something high, it's something that's grand. And I think that's also one of the reasons that made us sad during this pandemic, because we felt like it's so uncertain to reach that top in the circumstances we're in now. So I think my advice to these coming batches of college graduates is to know why you are doing those things. Like, make sure that your reason for doing or pursuing these things is something meaningful to you first, and also to other people around you, because situations like this might make you lose hope if you don't have a solid foundation of what you really wanted. So if you have a clear sight of what you want, if you have a vision of what you really want to do or what you really want to achieve, and if it's something meaningful, you won't let this kind of circumstance prevent you or stop you from achieving them. Like, no matter what challenges you face, you would not give up and just keep pursuing that, because it's meaningful to you. It's something in line with your values, with your personal beliefs. So you have to discover that first before you actually pursue anything, before you conceptualize success.